Hey everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Mike's Mini Motors. So I just got all the remaining parts in for the Moto mini bike, and we're going to get this thing up and running and should be able to drive it here real shortly. First off, I will show you everything that I've got in and what we're going to be doing to get it finished up, and then we'll get to doing the work. So the only thing new with the bike itself is I did put the seat on just because I was bored one night. But then we got here, this is our new intake and everything. We got a cone filter, as well as some vents for the gas tank and the valve cover for when we pulled the intake off with the old air box. We got the anodized aluminum intake adapter, so this will get bolted onto the carburetor, and then that will allow us to put cone filter on. Also came with a new jet for the carb so that it can get a little more fuel into it, and then some gaskets. We'll get the fender put on once we get the motor all in there. Got our new brake caliper, which is nice and shiny compared to the old one, and it has both brake pads, which is nice because this one only had one. The throttle linkage I showed you in the last video will get bolted onto the motor, same as well as the clutch. We got our trumpet header, which will go on there, as well as gasket and hardware. And then last but not least, our new motor plate. I wasn't a fan of how they just ground on this and made it look crappy, so this is going to get bolted in here, and this will give us adjustment forward and backwards and left and right for the motor. Plus it lifts it up a bit because the drain plug is hitting here, which after the last video I actually did some research, and that's what people usually have to do to fit the Predator motors in here, is hack off the head of this drain plug, which I don't really want to do. That way I can still drain it there if I ever needed to. So first off, yeah, we're going to probably change out the brake caliper so we have working brakes, and then I'll get the motor plate on there and start getting the motor bolted in. So there is the new motor plate. It's just mocked in there for now, loose, so that we can still adjust it, but it's nice that the channels actually capture the nut. It should be the head of the bolt, so that you don't have to hold that side. So what I gotta do now is get this guy off, and I'm gonna pull the stock air box off of here, then position this in there, and then I'll put the new header and intake on. So we got the Predator in there on the plate. Ended up adding some spacers to the bottom of the mount just to help clear some stuff, but that just made it a huge pain in the butt to get it on there. Then I went ahead and put the intake adapter on, and next I'm going to put the clutch on and get it lined up with the rear sprocket so that we can kind of get her tightened down and then bolt everything else back onto it. So I skipped a little ahead without filming all of it, but I've now got the motor positioned with the clutch on there, chains on, tensioned, and then went ahead and got the intake and everything on because it's really tight right here. So I tried to put that on before actually getting it all bolted down. Changed out the jet in the car, which is really easy. Just take this 10mm off, drops the whole fuel bowl, and then you take a flathead screwdriver up in the emulsion tube, and jet's right there. Unscrew it, screw in the new one, and yeah. So now we're going to get the throttle linkage hooked up right here. I don't know where it went. I'll have to find. Oh, it's here in the package. So this guy, it'll bolt on here, and I may also take the pull starter off and clock it one set of holes over so that this is pointing up instead of forward. That way you can be sitting on the bike and start it. So let's get to it. So as you see, we got the pull starter clocked just a little bit so that now you're pulling it straight up. Another thing is I decided not to use this throttle linkage because one, I need to get new bolts. The ones in here aren't long enough. But then also, to have this little piece here holds the front of the throttle cable. That would have, it's the front of the bike. So it would come out of here and have to make like this big loop, take up the slack, and just didn't like it. So I decided I'm just gonna hook it up like this, just into the stock fixtures that come with the motor, and works just fine. Did that, went ahead and got the rear fender on there. The factory holes won't, if I mounted it in the factory holes, would put the fender too far forward and would be hitting with the valve cover, and then also put it down into almost into the chain. So we drilled some new holes, moved it back a bit, and yeah, hopefully it'll hold. It doesn't have the front mount like it normally does, but all we got left to do is hook up the kill switch, put some oil in it, some fuel in it, and start it up. So she's pretty much ready to go. I topped her off with oil. I did decide to not use the kill switch on the handlebars for now. Just didn't want to mess with the wiring. I want to get this thing ridden. So, and I'm just going to use the kill switch that's stock on the motor here. And I cleaned up some of the cabling here. So the last thing I got to do is just take her off the lift and put some fuel in it, and then it should be ready to rip. Alright, let's see how easy this thing starts. And then once we get it running, we'll let her warm up for a minute and then take her out on the road. So here we go. Well, I'm back from riding it, and this thing is a blast. It accelerates like crazy, but it tops out super low. Based on a calculator I did online, you get about 22 miles an hour as your top speed. I got an app on my phone I tried when I was cruising around. I think it said 26, but I don't know if I trust it or not. But yeah, so in the future, definitely be changing out this rear sprocket to gear it differently so I get a little bit higher top end. But yeah, this thing was a lot of fun. I did realize that I'm going to probably really want to put header wrap on this header, because with it running right underneath the seat here, my butt got a little warm. So that's something I'll do with the sprocket, and might even get a little chain cover here for the clutch, just so I don't accidentally hit my leg on it and tear it up or something. And yeah, plus they look nicer. So that's gonna be it for now on the Mega Moto. But at some point, like I said, I'll do some more to it. And yeah, but right now I'm just gonna enjoy it and putz around town and the alleys and whatnot. It's not technically straight legal, but yeah. So thanks for watching. If you like the content, like and subscribe, and leave comments if you guys want. You guys let me know your feedback and what you guys would do to these things. So thanks.